Here we have a silver coin that was made in Holland, and it commemorates King James's survival of the gunpowder plot, and that's 1605. On it, there is a Latin inscription which reads, "The concealed one is discovered," and there's a snake on the coin, which represents the Catholic Society of Jesus, the group that was um, accused of the gunpowder plot. Here in Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, which was most likely written in 1606, the spring or summer of 1606, we have in Act 1, Scene 5, lines 76 and 77, Lady Macbeth states to Macbeth, "Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it." And this is most likely an allusion to the coin that was issued to commemorate King James's survival of the gunpowder plot. Here we have the Jesuit priest Henry Garnet. And Henry Garnet was caught up in the gunpowder plot with a connection to Robert Catesby. And Robert Catesby was one of the conspirators. And when Henry Garnet was arrested in the beginning of 1606, there was a subsequent trial where he was convicted of treason in connection to the gunpowder plot. Okay, so here in Macbeth Act 2, Scene 3, when when the porter opens the door to the one of the doors, the south entrance to the castle, and this is after Duncan has been murdered, the porter states, "Here's a farmer hanged himself on the expectation of plenty." And one of the nicknames for Henry Garnet was Farmer. And the other reference to Henry Garnet is here. Here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Here he's referring, the allusion is to Henry Garnet in connection to the gunpowder plot. Now, the trial was in March, March of 1606. It was March 28th, and Henry Garnet was executed on May 3rd, 1606. So the importance here is that this dates Macbeth to the time of the gunpowder plot. And as mentioned, the gunpowder plot was November 1605, but here the trial and execution of Henry Garnet, the equivocator, was March of 1606 was the trial, and May was the execution. So this helps date the play Macbeth to that year. Now, this individual is Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford. The Earl of Oxford died in 1604. He died in 1604, and Macbeth, as mentioned, the internal allusion to the gunpowder plot dates it at least after the gunpowder plot of 1605, and most likely, since the reference to Henry Garnet is early 1606, it dates the play to 1606. Now, this is important because the Earl of Oxford died in 1604 on June 24th, and it would be impossible for him to have written Macbeth because of the fact that it was written after he died. Here we have a tentative chronology of Shakespeare's plays. And without going into a discussion of each of the plays, we have Macbeth, which is 1605 or 1606. And as we mentioned, this is dated primarily because of internal allusions in the text and one to the gunpowder plot. If we look at the Earl of Oxford died in 1604. So if we just start here and we look at plays written 1604 and after that date up to 1613, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 plays written after 1604 or 1604 until 1613. 13. And this video was obviously just discussing Macbeth and the tentative dating of Macbeth to the gunpowder plot. As mentioned in previous videos, anti-Stratfordians come up with different theories as to why William Shakespeare of Stratford didn't write his own works, or that he was a front man for other people, that he received help. There's many different theories. However, the Earl of Oxford, the one play that, well, there's also The Tempest, but this video is not dealing with The Tempest. But here we have Macbeth, which clearly establishes a date of the play, late 1605, 1606. Chances are spring, summer of 1606 is the dating of the play, and that obviously discounts the Earl of Oxford as the author because of the fact that he died in 1604.